Drink it in, man.
Big Hughes, we were just talking on the Koolaid cast. We mentioned the name Golden Tate. I know we've talked for a good segment in the past podcast about Golden Tate, his contract coming up. Would you keep him? Would you not? You just said you wouldn't even kind of think about putting him in a deal with Gronk. You want to keep him. With that being said, and removing, kind of moving from Golden Tate to this other receiver we have, who neither of us were very high on when we drafted him, but every time I see this guy and every time I was at training camp, all he does is make plays. Last year on Sunday, all he did was make plays when he was out there. He was injured a little bit. What is your ceiling? What is the best case scenario for this prospect, this athlete that we have called Kenny Golladay?
Yeah, Golladay. Well, I mean, I remember being in Ford Field for game one when he's diving around catching touchdown pass on the Arizona Cardinals. But yeah, like you said, we weren't high on him when he was drafted. It was a surprise, and he was, for once, it was one of those names that from minicamp on, you heard about the spectacular catches and plays he was making and could just transition into the season. I think his ceiling's pretty high. I'm pretty excited. Fingers crossed that he stays healthy, and so does Tate and Jones. For a full season to kind of see how these three guys fit together. I think what makes his situation so good right now is he doesn't have to be, a go-to type of guy. He's still got Tate for the slot and Marvin to kind of take the top off the defense. So I think it's beneficial for him right now to have those other two guys. I think potentially he could work his way up to being a number one type receiver because he's got the size, he's got, the ability to do so. But I think it's going to take a few years for him to get comfortable to earn that spot to be a number one receiver for us.
So in multiple sections of the podcast, you've kind of said, keep Golden Tate, extend him.
Yeah.
So that's going to still leave you with those three guys plus, some side pieces there in the receiver position. I'm talking to you right now, and I'm putting this on the podcast, that as much as I like what Golden Tate's done since he's been here, unless he's willing to go at a good deal, I'm totally ready to start this season, integrating Kenny Golladay a lot more. He's 6'4", 220 plus pounds, and he looks like a smooth athlete that can go get it not only in the red zone, but deep. He can catch and run. I don't know. I didn't know anything about this guy, really. He was not on my draft radar, but every time I look at him in a jersey and every time I see his size and speed and stuff, I think him and Marvin on the outsides with a affordable piece in the slot is more where I'm trending over the next couple of years for the Lions. So I'm just putting my stake in the ground right now that, I'll keep Golden Tate around for the right price, but if it gets out of hand, I'm totally fine to say, hey, Marvin, we love what you've been doing both on and off the field and your athleticism. Put Kenny on the other side and have defenses deal with that. And I know he hasn't done a ton yet, but I think I don't want to baby him along. I kind of want to get him out there a lot more this year. Another reason I'm glad that Eric Ebron is gone, because for all the times that we had those two wideouts and Ebron in there, let's put Kenny out there and run three and start really stretching some defenses.
Well, I think that what we're going to see a lot this year is keeping Tate more so in the slot, and I think that's where he should be with, Kenny and Marv on the field, right, in the slot. So I think that's going to allow Kenny to be out there more, and I think realistically, if the Lions do start talking contract extension with Tate, that's something that you're going to have to think about. Are they going to pay him like a top receiver, or are they going to pay him like a guy who's just, playing in the slot? I mean, I like Tate because I think he's, the best at what he does in the slot. I think that's huge and important. And, him and Stafford have unbelievable chemistry and, all the blah, blah, blah stuff. Right. But I just think that if Golladay can step up, you're right. They're probably not going to be as willing to throw money at Tate because, like I said, I mean, looking at the contracts for 2019, I mean, Rick Wagner's bumps up over $11 million. TJ Lang's up over $11 million. There's a lot. There's not a lot of cap space. So, it could be a possibility if they get what they want out of Kenny that they're just saying, okay, Golden, we appreciate everything you did for us, but adios, amigo.
Yeah. Well, sounds good, man. Like you say, everybody that's out there listening, I just, like I said, went on the record today that I'm expecting big things from this kid this year. It's only year two, but I think that he can if he gets the snaps and gets the opportunities, especially inside the 20s, he's going to be a nightmare to deal with. I've been reading all these reports that nobody can guard him, throw the jump ball, throw everything you want at this guy. So I'd like to see a lot more of that this year and have a better feel for what his ceiling is. But I'm really high on him right now. So just putting that out there for the people. And like you said, it's always a numbers game. So if you can minus a big $10 million number for receiver and add Kenny in, who's probably making under around $1 million, $2 million bucks a year right now at most, like that's definitely something I would consider from roster and just young legs, young blood out there just doing things. So I'm high on Kenny Golladay. It sounds like you are, but man, this kid's ceiling is going to be real important in this football team.
Pack the bag, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions. Drink it in, man.